Welcome back, everybody. Laz. All right. Data encapsulation terms. There's really not much here. I mean, we've touched upon it in previous lecture. All right. But when we're talking about data encapsulation, that's exactly what it is. It's now this is important. The lower layer encapsulates the upper layer, whether it be the OSI model or the TCP/IP model. You see, I have both there, okay? And they're color coded. They're color coded. So if it's yellow, that means they all go together. If it's blue, they all go together. I don't know if that's pink or purple. I don't know. I just chose that color. They go together, and then the green probably goes together. But it's the lower layer that encapsulate the upper layer. It's like when you're doing a letter, you write in a particular format, right? You can do it in a pencil, you can do it in a pen, okay, in a magic marker, Crayola crayons. I don't know. It depends on you, on how you want to send the letter, okay? And then you fold it up, all right, and you put it inside an envelope, right? So you're encapsulating it, right? Well, it's the same thing. You're encapsulating information. Now, if you look at the OSI model first, right, the encapsulation for the upper three layers is data, meaning it really hasn't broken it down yet. It's still one big chunk of data coming down. Now, are you doing HTTP? Are you dealing with the presentation layer that deals? Is this EBCDIC? Is this ASCII? Is this JPEGs? Or what is it? The format, the encryption. Okay, that's what the presentation layer deals with. The session layer in the OSI model, it deals with the actual sessions. All right, it separates the sessions, the port numbers, things like that. So in the TCP/IP model, the little one, right, the TCP/IP model, that happens in all those three layers on the OSI happens on that one layer in the TCP/IP. All right, but it's data. The PDU is called, it's not university. It's protocol data units. Okay, protocol data units, and it happens to be data. Now, how I remember this, you gotta come up with these mnemonic devices, okay? Meaning little acronyms that will help you, remember at least the first letter of everything so you can learn these things. When I use for the PDUs, like you heard me say, all people seem to need Domino's Pizza. Some people like to use data processing, whatever. It's up to you what you like to do. With PDUs, I like to use don't stop pouring free beer. Nobody wants that. Okay? So that's how I learned that. So I put in the first letters, and I go, oh, data, segment, packet, frames, and bits. Now I know. Okay? So once it gets to the transport layer, that's where it starts breaking things up. And then at the transport layer, it starts putting its information. It could be a trailer, okay? It could be at the end, or it could be in the front, okay? It all depends what information is being put on there, okay? But the transport layer is the segment. Now it becomes a segment once it gets to the transport layer. And you can see in the TCP/IP is the same layer, transport. When you get to the network layer, now we're dealing with packets. Now we're dealing with IP, routed, and routing protocols, okay? So logical, right? Networks, portion of the network. It's not physical of the network, it's the logical portion of the network, because just because you put a cable from here to there and there's other cables around like this, depending on the protocol, is it going to go straight forward? No. If you use EIGRP and the best way is this way, it's going to go this way. So it's not really the physical aspect of the network more than the logical aspect, because now you have a thinking algorithm saying, hey, the best way to get where I need to go is this way. So that is what happens at layer 3. And then when we get to data link, those are frames. We've talked about this already with the frames. This is where the ARP, this is where the RARP, right, which is very rare, but this is the ARP. This is where the MAC addresses, this is where their switches and your bridges, all these things happen here at this particular layer. And that's the PDU, all right, that's being put onto this particular frame, this information, this frame that's coming down all right, with all these different informations in it. That's why they have to have sequence numbers, right? So when it goes to the other side, it comes out the wire, it knows how to put them back in order, all right? Because it has sequence numbers. It actually tells it, hey, listen, based on this mathematical equation, I came up with this number. Is it equal to this number? Yes, okay. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. So if I come out yellow, blue, pink, green, then it has to come up in the same order, right? When you get to the other side. And the physical, it's just bits. Now listen. Yes, it's represented by ones and zeros. Yes. But what they're really talking about is electrical impulses, okay? High and low. Not that it's actual zeros and ones going across the freaking wire, okay? It's electrical impulses that are measured that way, okay? That are measured that way. But that's what it talks about when it comes to encapsulation. And remember, when you're going down the OSI model, the TCP/IP model, that's encapsulation. Encapsulation, okay? Where the lower layer encapsulates the upper layer, but when it goes up the other side, wow, that was kind of a rough movement, but when it goes up the other side, okay, it's de-encapsulation. It's putting everything back in order, where everything was broken down, all right? We're building this big frame here with all these different types of information, port numbers, IP addresses, MAC addresses, the data, all these different things, right? Then it goes out the wire, then it's going to go ahead and has to put it back in place. It builds everything back together, and you get that beautiful email from the person that sent it to you, right? So that's what happens with data encapsulation. So what is it that you need to remember? What is the key point of this? Those PDUs. Those PDUs. Know those PDUs. Don't stop pouring free beer. Data, 7 packets, frames, and bits. Make your own thing up. I don't care. But know them. Because that is what they're going to be focusing on when it comes to encapsulation. And that the lower layer encapsulates the upper layer. It will never say the application layer encapsulated the physical layer. Does that make any sense? No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Very short and sweet to the point. Very easy to remember. Okay? And that's it. I'll see everybody in the next section.